Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, special welcome. My special name is Achom. I am an artist living in Uganda. I wanted to share my experience with breast surgery, and from the time that I discovered this mass in my breast, and I went through surgery in 2021. Yeah, that's when I went through surgery, 2021 December 10th. So I just wanted to share my experience from the beginning. Now, once upon a time, I was walking and I think I was swinging my hand and I thought I've got a muscle pull somewhere. And so I was trying to check through and I landed on something. And I'm like, what is this? I touched it and it was a mass. So I tell my sister, can you try and check for me? Maybe I'm just insinuating. Maybe this is not real. And she checks and she's like, there's something. And at that point, I could feel it like it was like a bean, a bean seed. That is the size that I felt like it was. Sorry about that chicken. I was scared. Like all I could think about was breast cancer. Oh my god, I have breast cancer because they say when you find a lump, it's breast cancer. So I go tell my mom. Now my mom even worries worse than me. So she's like, oh my god, we need to go to the hospital the next day. So we go to the hospital and we meet the doctor, and the doctor sends me for an ultrasound on my left breast. So we go for the ultrasound, and yes, of course they tell me remove your top, and then they check. They ask me which breast is it, and I'm like the left breast. And so the guy put that called, I don't know what it's called, and he checked with a scanning whatever machine, and he saw two masses. But then he said, I know you paid for one breast, but let me check also the other breast. I'm like, it's okay, it's kawa, just to rule out. So he checks and this other one was okay. So he gives me the printouts or the ultrasound, and I take back to the doctor, and the doctor is like, go see the surgeon. But otherwise it is not, these are two masses, they were called benign masses. So it's like, according to what we see, it's not cancerous, so you don't need to worry right now, but go see a surgeon for further advice. So we go to the surgeon's office and he sees my ultrasound. So on checking it, he tells me, these things are scary, you need to remove them as soon as possible. If you stay with it, then it's more dangerous. You guys, already I was worried. I got worried times 1,000. So I got so scared. I went out. My dad was also there. I'm like, Dad, they're talking about surgery. And he says, no, wait. These things, you don't go get one opinion. You get many opinions from other doctors also. We go to a doctor that we know, that is in the family, but we know, and show him the results. And he says, I don't know why this doctor is worrying you. Why would he worry you? Because this does not look like an emergency situation. They have said it's not cancerous. Like, why does he have to rush you? It is still very small. At that time, it was about 1 centimeter times. I don't remember. I don't even think I'm saying the right things. So the doctor says, you know what? Go to Rubaga Hospital. I don't want to mention the previous hospital's name. I don't know if I should, but it starts with a C. And you should mind about the hospitals that you go to, because there are hospitals which are really, really focused on to making money out of people, and yet your situation might not be an emergency. So we just left that hospital alone. We went to Rubaga where they referred us to. I went, met this doctor, Dr. Okello Michael. Oh my god, that is the best doctor ever. So he checked. He told me, no, this is still small. This is benign. Benign means that it's non-cancerous according to as far as they can see. And so he tells me, don't worry. Sometimes if you even give birth and you're breastfeeding, this thing can go. I'm like, wow, so I shouldn't worry. Remember, I have already gone home, I've Googled and all this, and I've seen that, yeah, at least I have some information. Because me, no, you'll just be doing an ultrasound every 6 months. So I had to wait for 6 months. I go get an ultrasound. Remember, they had found two masses. So now 6 months ahead, I go again and check, and they found they were now 3 masses. I go back to that doctor. He checks through and he tells me, they are still small. There's no need to worry. They are still small. They are benign. There's no cancer scare. Okay. So again, 6 months forward, we go for another, and this time there were now 5 masses. They had now become five, still on the left breast. Oh my god, that was so scary. So now I went back to him. He said, no, there's no need to worry. These things might actually reduce. I'm like, okay. So again, after 6 months, I go for another scan. Going into the scan, by that time now, I could now feel it was big. I'm saying it because I could feel only one big one. So by now it was big. I could give an example of, like, you see the seed of a jackfruit. That's how I could feel it. That's the size that I could feel it as right here. And it was like, it was not in the meat of my body, if I should say. It was an independent body, but kind of slippery. I was already being uncomfortable sleeping on this side because I could feel it like sleeping on a stone. So we go back to the doctor and he says, you know what, now the size has increased. There is no need to worry about cancer yet, but we just need to do now a biopsy to check if it's really cancerous or not. Now, biopsy is where they take a sample of that affected part of your body and they give you to take, they go and test the sample to see if it's cancerous or what, or what they call it, histology. I don't know if I'm saying the right thing. The biopsy procedure is another, that was another kind of surgery. It's like a small surgery. So I go into the room and they inject me, real injection right here on my breast. And so I could now feel numb, and then they bring a very, you guys, this injection, the needle part was like this long, so that's what they injected inside there, and then plucked off parts of it, like small parts, and then put them into a container, and then gave me to take to some place in Nakasero where they check for the content of whatever the sample they've got. So that's what I did. I checked, and after that I brought the results back to doctor. He sees them and is like, this thing is non-cancerous as far as we know, so you shouldn't worry. How it might even go in future, but now at this point the size, it's increasing, so why would I? So he says, now at this point it's up to you if you want to remove it. If you don't want to remove it, it is also fine, but it's up to you. Just choose, because it's not dangerous to your body as far as we know. So it was up to me. And guys, everyone had opinions. Why would you go opt for surgery when this thing is not dangerous? Why would you leave it there? Why would you? Nobody even asked me what I needed, but the doctor said, you're an adult, it's up to you. It's not even your parents. Sit down in your room and choose what you want to do. I thought about my life because everywhere that I was moving, I knew that I had this thing on my breast, and it was not a nice feeling. It was so not cool, and sleeping on this side was quite hectic. Even if you just move your hand like this, you could feel it. At a point, the size. Others said, why don't you wait when you give birth, and when you breastfeed it will go. I'm like, should I really wait? Just the thought of having this foreign body in my breast. So I decided to take it off. Now we go, that means operation. I was scared. But I kept on postponing, and the doctor said, you know what, I know you're scared, but let's just take a date, do this thing and get it off, because I know the main reason why you decided to remove it is because it is mentally, it is affecting, I don't know how to explain it. It is affecting you mentally. The fact that you know that you have it is what's disturbing you most, and I know that feeling. Most patients complain about that. We prepare that day, we go for surgery. We went to Rubaga Hospital very early in the morning. Now that doctor is always so busy. We went like by 6 a.m. we were there. We left home at 4 a.m. We waited up to I think yeah. Now they started preparing me at around 11 a.m. Yeah, they told me remove all your clothes. I removed my clothes, and now I remained with my panties. And the nurses are like, remove the panty also, and I was like, no, I'm in my periods, I can't remove. So they say, no, it's okay, we shall get for you I think they wrapped cotton around gauze. So they gave it to me and told me, you remove the panty, we'll take your things to where your dad is and your sister. My sister was also there. So we, after undressing, they give you some cloth, hospital cloth. Then we went. They were very nice nurses, very, very lovely nurses. But you guys, at that point, all when I was being rolled down to the surgery room, all I could think about was my mom. And unfortunately, she couldn't even make it. She was caught up in another situation elsewhere, and she really couldn't make it. But I could just, that is all that I could think about, because it felt like you're going into death and you're just thinking about mom, I need you, mom, I need you. Oh, and the fact that even my dad was right there, my sister was there, but I was just thinking about mom, I need you. So we go into the surgery room. Now we meet I meet the attendants, and of course they're talking, they're trying to make you laugh, and these were like my age mates. So they were like, in case you want to pee, tell us and we'll give you a catheter. Guys, I had some little pee that I but I couldn't even say it. I just said, you know what? I'm already uncomfortable naked as I am, because even the hair, I think I had some beads. They removed everything. They removed my earpins. They removed my bangles. Like, I was naked. So I refused. They said, even if you want to defecate, I'm like, no, no way. So as we're talking, they're like, oh, the doctor is coming. Ah, I could see them now injecting me, whatever. And that's the last time I understood anything. The next time I woke up in a room. Yeah, I woke up, but within some, how can I say it? In that time, I could hear the doctors calling me Agatha, 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 like in a voice that is coming from like echoes. Her oxygen, her oxygen, something is her oxygen. Why is she still on oxygen? And I could hear the nurse saying, no, she's having a hard time breathing, and yeah. Till I woke up, but I could remember now that I was hearing them call me Agatha, Agatha. So, and I could hear them complaining about how I'm consuming a lot of oxygen, because now I woke up at around, I went into surgery around noon sharp, and then I woke up at around 4 p.m. So, and that is like, the nurse is like, oh, you're awake. Guys, all I could feel, I could already feel my eyes swollen, so I could not open them so wide. My body was paining, everything was just paining. I could now feel the wound. So now they take me to where my dad and my sister were, and put me on the bed. I think I went in a wheelchair. They put me on the bed. This was a 1 day procedure, by the way. So it was not like I stayed in a hospital. I didn't even spend 2 days. It was just that day and you go home that day. That's how simple that procedure was. But I forgot to mention, they called this thing fibroadenoma. Fibro. I asked what caused it. He said probably hormonal changes. We also don't know, but it's not cancerous. However, the other risk is that in if you to get cancer, breast cancer, you might think that it's the fibroadenoma, yet the cancer has also started developing. However, these two are not related. It does not cause breast cancer. So just to have precaution in case, to just clear your breast, it's good you did the surgery. So now I wanted to see the mask that they had removed. I asked my dad, where is it? And he told me he had taken it for testing. They told him to take it for testing. I almost forgot to mention, much as I had, the scan was showing two masses, but I could only feel one major one, the big one. But the doctor told me, this thing, it might be a lymph node, it might be something else. These scans can sometimes be not be so accurate or show something else. But during the operation, I did not see anything else that is suspicious. It was only that one big lump. He said he believes that it had merged, like all the other small lumps had merged and made one firm big mass, and made one mass. So that's the one that they removed. Guys, it was looking like meat with some it was looking like meat with some fats on the side. It was really huge. It was really huge, but I thank God that it's gone. It is gone. Yeah, now it was time to go home. Remember, I was hungry. I was very, very hungry. They told me to stop eating the previous night at 11 p.m. So until 4 p.m. next day, I had not eaten. So now we are going back home. Guys, I will never forget this experience. The potholes, the humps. I was like, gosh, what is the point of humps? That is the worst journey I have ever had. You know, I had to hold like this and you still feel it because the breast is like moving. Every hump I was just preparing. I could not even sleep. Remember, I'm tired. At least they have given me some food, but I was so uncomfortable on the way back. There was a lot of jam. It was really devastating. I don't see what's the point. I see now why other countries don't have humps. Like, okay, potholes we have, but humps, like, what's the reason? This was so it disorganized my state. I thought about women who have just had their c-sections or operations, and you're going through that humpy thing. It was another experience. So we get home. I was given some antibiotics, so I was taking medicines, and after 3 days I had to go back to the hospital. Over a week, I don't recall, but I had to go pick the sample that was taken for testing, and take the results now to the doctor, and also he had to check my wound to see how far along it is and if it's okay. After around 3 weeks, at least I could jump a bit. I was not allowed to carry heavy things. It was a smooth recovery. They forgot to give me painkillers, but I didn't really feel a lot of pain. I guess I don't know why. Then after some time, we even went in the village for Christmas. I got COVID. That's the time I got the Omicron COVID. Already I'm in pain here, and then COVID. That was also another thing. I was sick, flu, cough, weakness, headache. Guys, that variant was so terrible. And the other thing I was worried about was the scar, like having a scar on the side of my breast, because it was on the side. So good enough, the doctor did a good job, and where they cut was like around the nipple area. So I could feel it's like the scar is lost in the nipple, so I'm good to go. My boobs, I feel like they're the same size. Everything was good. But there was some hardness that I was also worried about, like really hard, like I can't even explain, but it was really hard. That's what I was worried about. But I think around 6 months to 1 year, it dissolved. Like, it dissolved. My breast is so normal. And yeah, that was my experience. I would encourage all of you to check, check, check your breast, because just check, because just imagine it was breast cancer and it had escalated and I was not bothered about it. It's like you just need to do these things momentarily. And it's not only for girls. I think breast cancer is not only for girls, it also goes for the boys, so you need to check that. Yeah, the other thing that I would suggest, if there's anyone in the medical industry, I think they would change this thing of paying for one breast to be done ultrasound. Like, it's so not cool. Like, if I've paid ultrasound for breast, let them be both. I know there could be cost, whatever, but since you're promoting breast cancer awareness. You shouldn't judge each breast differently, each ultrasound for each breast differently. That kind of discourages. In all that time of finding the mass in my breast and the operation, that was a space of 3 years, between a space of 3 years, and I think I had about 4 ultrasounds. There is no reason to worry. If you find it, go check. The other advice I could give you is don't get an opinion from only one doctor. At least also be informed from the internet, much as it's scary sometimes, but just to know. Yeah, so that was my experience, and bye bye. See you next week.